Hey guys, Sal here, and in today's video we're taking a look at the Royal Kludge RK96, a 90% mechanical gaming keyboard, which I believe has the perfect balance between aesthetics and performance at what can be considered an unbelievable price. Join Deem on this in-depth review as we dive into the RK96, build quality, smooth yellow switches, aesthetically pleasing RGB, and its many impressive features, one including a very cool way to display the battery life. Let's take a closer look. Can we just take a moment and agree that the color scheme on the RK96 is absolutely beautiful? The last keyboard I took a look at on the channel was the Royal Kludge RK84, a 75% mechanical gaming keyboard. And besides that, the RK96 only has a few other differences from the RK84. The RK96 comes with a Type-C USB to A cable, switch puller, extra switches, and something the RK84 didn't come with, a black cat. Okay, calm down, it wasn't even that funny. Jesus Christ, man. Oh God, brush your teeth. No, it actually came with this magnetic armrest, which is made of plastic. We'll get into that later. The RK84 itself came with magnetic feet, which I remember being quite fond of. If you're anything like me, you're not gonna be particularly fond of this armrest because it's plastic and it doesn't have any soft cushioning at the top of it. I don't hate it, but honestly, it would have felt a whole lot better if it was soft. Looking at the keyboard's design, it has an eye-catching matte blue color scheme. Honestly, I really like the shade of blue that Royal Kludge decided to go with on this keyboard. The keyboard itself feels pretty solid and has absolutely no flex, and it weighs in at 2 pounds or 946 grams. At the top right of the keyboard, there is a volume wheel or rocker, and it was the first thing that caught my eye when I took this keyboard out of the box. Royal Kludge also included a mute button right near the volume rocker, which I find extremely convenient. There are 96 keys in total, including a numpad, which the Royal Kludge RK84 did not include, which honestly I think 75% keyboards like the RK84 is probably my favorite. It's small, compact, but still gives you those dedicated directional buttons. The keycaps are made of ABS plastic and have double shot legends for extra durability. They have a cherry style profile. What the hell are cherry style keycaps? Google, you better educate me right now. Cherry style keycaps have an angled top and are sculpted across each row to better meet your fingertips, while XTA profile keycaps have concave tops that cradle your fingertips and are uniform size regardless of row. Oh, I still have no clue what cherry style keycaps are. Now, one thing I don't like about the keycaps is that the lettering on the keycaps are not translucent, so the RGB doesn't shine through. Now, I know this is very minor, but if they had included that, it would have gave it a much cooler effect and allowed the RGB to shine its true colors. You might notice that some of the keycaps have a rigidness at the bottom, which isn't all that big of a deal, but because it is a quality issue, I thought I'd mention it. Switches are Royal Kludge's own yellow switches, which are frequently compared to yellow Gateron switches. The switches, just like the ones in the RK84, which are yellow switches too, are extremely easy to swap out. This keyboard is hot swappable with 3 and 2-pin switches. Typing on the keyboard, in my opinion, is very satisfying. It has amazing acoustics. A good mechanical keyboard sound can calm even the angriest, hairiest of beasts. The keyboard has 3 connection methods: wired, Bluetooth, and 2.4 gigahertz wireless. The 2.4 gigahertz dongle is tucked into the back of the keyboard, which is pretty much a norm for Royal Kludge keyboards. And as I said in the past, it's honestly a real big lifesaver for someone like me who likes to lose all his dongles to every device that he has. There has been talks to there being a little bit of lag with the 2.4 gigahertz dongle and the requirement of having a dongle extender so the dongle is closer to the keyboard. Personally, I didn't experience any of this. I had the dongle connected into the back of my laptop and didn't experience any lag. And even at one point, I took the keyboard all the way downstairs to the first floor and still only experienced minor lag. On the back of the keyboard, there is also 2 USB Type A 2.0 ports, which can be used for connecting a mouse or a gaming headset. Of course, I wouldn't advise using this with an SSD or a hard drive because of the limitations of the bandwidth of the USB 2.0s. Now, as far as Bluetooth is concerned, my laptop, as soon as I switched to the Bluetooth mode on the back of the keyboard, automatically paired with the keyboard, with me pretty much doing absolutely nothing other than switching the switch. It's almost like you can't, like it happens the first time and then won't happen again. I didn't notice any real lag in gameplay or any real difference between the 2.4 gigahertz and the Bluetooth. As with most Royal Kludge keyboards, there are some secondary functions if you hold the function key. There are some dedicated media keys on the top, and also a key to switch between Windows and Mac profiles. But as you may notice, this is basically a Windows keyboard layout, so you won't see any Mac keys on this keyboard, such as Option. The Royal Kludge RK96 has software to change the RGB or set up profiles, but for the most part, you don't need that. You can do all that from the keyboard itself. You can change the RGB pattern from the keyboard. You can change the brightness and the pattern of the speed. Oh my God. You can change the speed of the pattern. There are also 3 different profiles you can set up from the keyboard, and it's rather easy to set up. You have to hold the function key and 1, 2, or 3. Then you're gonna go ahead and hit the function back key. Now you're going to be able to click any one of the keys on there until you get the desired RGB color. After you're finished setting up all the keys to the desired color pattern that you want, you once again hit function and back, and it'll save that pattern. Last but not least, let's talk about battery. There's a 37 milliamp battery in here, which I've had this keyboard on 2.4 gigahertz wireless for a few days now, and it's barely drained the battery. Now that's made possible by Royal Kludge's battery saving feature, which shuts the keyboard off after a few seconds or minutes of use, depending on what you set up in the Royal Kludge RK96 software. Now, if the battery happens to drain and die, which of course it's gonna drain and die, dummy. But when it dies, Royal Kludge states that it'll take 6 to 7 hours on fast charging to fully charge this keyboard. Now, I'm gonna leave it up to you to decide whether 6 to 7 hours is fast. I personally am gonna plead the fifth. Now, just like the Royal Kludge RK84, there's a really cool way to actually find out how much juice is left in this keyboard, and that is to press the function key and the enter. And on the top, it'll show you the battery life by lighting up the number key. Obviously, 0 being completely full and 1 being about empty. If you have any questions on the RK96, you can ask those down below in the comments. And as always, there are links to the keyboard and all the equipment I use to produce these videos in the description down below. As for now, I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, instead of staring at my ugly mug, why don't you go ahead and check out one of our other videos? 1, 2, I'll wait. My busted face ain't going nowhere.